Hook, he noticed his niece never got enough food while her brothers ate everything, so he quietly stocked the kitchen for her. A mother-in-law told her crying daughter-in-law to stop making a scene after a 4-year-old called her fat. And a father told his struggling oldest daughter that her jealousy was her own fault and her life is exactly what she made it. 3 stories. 3 verdicts. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Confession Loop. These stories come straight from Reddit's AITA forum, where real people ask the internet one question: was I the asshole? Names have been changed. Story 1. The niece and food setup. His brother's family has been staying with him and his wife for around 6 months while they save money after moving from another state. 3 kids, 2 teenage boys and a 14-year-old girl. Things have been going okay overall. The boys are athletes. Track and basketball. Teenagers who are constantly hungry. They go back for multiple servings at every meal and demolish snacks within hours. That part he understood. What he started noticing was different. His niece kept complaining that by the time she got to the food there was barely anything left. He also noticed that during meals his brother and sister-in-law were consistently giving the boys noticeably bigger portions than their daughter. He figured maybe it was just because the boys were bigger and more active. But eventually he asked his brother directly because it seemed excessive. His brother's answer stopped him cold. The boys needed the calories because they were athletes and still growing. His daughter did not do sports and sat around most of the day. And he did not want her getting overweight. He found that deeply troubling. So he started quietly buying extra snacks and drinks and keeping them in the main part of the house. He told his niece she could help herself whenever she wanted so she would not have to compete with her brothers for food. His brother found out and completely lost it. Accused him of making him look like a terrible parent who was starving his daughter. Said she already gets 3 large meals a day. Said if he was buying extra food for one kid he should let the boys have it too. He explained the entire reason he did it was because the boys were already eating everything and his daughter was the only one consistently being left out. He is asking Reddit, was he wrong to get involved? Top comments. Reddit was deeply concerned. The top comment said, "What your brother is doing has a name. Restricting food from a teenage girl while freely feeding her brothers is how eating disorders start. You did the right thing." Many people pointed out that the brother's reasoning, "she does not need the calories because she sits around," is not how nutrition works for a growing 14-year-old girl. It is how body image damage works. Someone said, "She is not competing for food in a house that has enough. She is being quietly told her appetite matters less than her brother's. That is not parenting. That is favoritism with consequences." The most upvoted comment said, "You are not making him look like a bad parent. He is being a bad parent. You are just the only one trying to fix it." Verdict, not the asshole. Reddit said he may want to consider having a much more serious conversation with his brother about. Story 2, Stop Crying. Setup. His daughter-in-law is, by his own description, an extremely sensitive person. Any pushback, any slightly rude remark, and she ends up in tears. Loud tears. The kind everyone notices. And somehow the person who said anything ends up looking like the villain. He gives an example. A year ago she was tracking mud into his home and he told her to take off her shoes. She started crying because his tone was too much. He did not yell. His daughter was there and confirmed he was not mean. But it became a whole thing and his son lectured him about how he speaks to her. This has happened multiple times. The whole family has had to navigate around it. Then came a birthday party for his other daughter-in-law's 7-year-old. Things were going well. Lots of young kids running around. One of the children, 4 years old, almost 5, has a habit of saying whatever comes to mind. His parents are working on it. During the party while she was helping pass out food he called her fat. His parents grabbed him immediately. She started crying. Loudly, he pulled her aside and told her to stop crying. He did not want a scene at a 7-year-old's birthday party over something a 4-year-old said. He told her not to come back out until she was composed. She went to the car and did not return to the party. His son is furious and wants him to apologize. He says she is a grown adult crying over a remark from a child who barely understands what he is saying. He is asking Reddit, was he the asshole? Top comments, Reddit was split but leaned toward yes. The top comment said, a 4-year-old called her fat at a party. That can genuinely hurt regardless of the source. Pulling her aside and telling her to stop crying instead of offering any comfort was cold. Many people acknowledged the pattern is frustrating. But several pointed out there is a difference between being frustrated with someone's sensitivity and publicly telling them to compose themselves after being insulted about their body. Someone said, you did not comfort her. You managed her. Those are very different responses to someone who is upset, but others disagreed entirely. One comment said, it was a child's birthday party. Removing herself to cry privately was the right outcome and he just moved that along faster. The most upvoted comment said, the way you handled it was unkind even if the outcome was practical. An apology does not mean you were entirely wrong. It means you. Story 3, her own fault, setup. His oldest daughter Madison dropped out of college. She was not going to classes, her grades collapsed, and the university eventually kicked her out. Since then she has been working as a waitress, carrying debt, and struggling to get ahead. His younger daughter Becky is graduating with a full scholarship, no loans, no debt, and just landed a job offer at a good company with a strong starting salary. The gap between their situations is significant. And Madison has grown increasingly bitter about it. She has turned on anything Becky achieves. Every milestone, every success, every opportunity becomes something to resent rather than celebrate. Then Becky mentioned at dinner that she was planning a trip to Iceland in the fall. Just a quick mention in conversation. Nothing dramatic. On the car ride home Madison exploded. She was furious that Becky got to do things like that. Said it was not fair. Started insulting her sister directly. That was the moment he had enough. He told Madison she needed to get over her jealousy. And that the reason her life was the way it was her own fault. They got into a serious argument. Madison is furious. His wife thinks he went too far. He thinks she needed to hear it. He is asking Reddit, was he wrong? Top comments, Reddit was divided but thoughtful. The top comment said, the truth is not always the wrong thing to say. But timing and delivery matter enormously. Saying this in anger after she insulted her sister is not the same as saying it in a calm private conversation. Many people pointed out that Madison clearly knows her situation is her own doing. That awareness without support often turns into bitterness. Telling her it is her fault does not give her anywhere to go with that information. Someone said, you are not wrong about the facts. But being right and being helpful are two completely different things. What does she do now that you have confirmed what she already fears about herself? But others strongly disagreed. One comment said, she insulted her sister for succeeding. At some point the truth needs to be said out loud. Protecting her from it has not helped her. The most upvoted comment said, you were not wrong. But you were not kind either. Both things can be true at the same time. Verdict, everyone sucks here. Reddit said Madison's behavior was unacceptable but the delivery of hard truth in anger rarely leads anywhere useful. OUTRO, 3 stories. An uncle who quietly stocked the kitchen because nobody else was going to.